In this episode, I am explaining why I made the decision to refund over 90 people this week for something that they purchased from me. I never thought I'd ever have to do this, nor have I had to yet. But here we are. Let's discuss. Welcome to All In with Allie, the podcast for online business owners and entrepreneurs who are ready to create the life and business of their dreams. I'm so happy you are here. Okay, now as I record this week, I just wrapped up my newest training, one that I've never taught before, called Exponential. Defy limits where extraordinary meets exceptional. We had over 90 people sign up for this training, and I've decided to refund every single one. Now, here's some context to the situation. This was a 4-day training. I released a module or a part every single day for 4 days. And the concept of this training is how to play really, really big in life and business. So we got into the energetics of that, and I broke down the formula for it and gave actionable steps in how you actually do that, because we hear a lot, people, myself included, right? Like my word for the year is big. I'm playing really big this year. We hear this a lot, but rarely is this explained. Like, how do you actually go about this? How do you actually put this into practice? So that's what Exponential was, hence the title Exponential. And if I am being so honest with you, and this is coming from a pure place of I'm just shooting you straight, Exponential, I fear, may have been one of, if not the best trainings of my entire career. Straight up. And I came to that conclusion before I got any feedback on it. As a matter of fact, the feedback kind of rolled in a little bit slower than I was expecting. But it was one of those that as I delivered it and as I wrote it out, it was just clear this was something really special. And I came to that conclusion because, one, the way that it just flowed out of me, there was zero effort in it at all. I fully believe. Like, I'm not trying to drop I think I channeled this card or anything, because I feel like that can sometimes be manipulative or overused. I don't know what happened. I just know I got the idea. I was really excited about it, and it flowed out of me so naturally and effortlessly. And when I was done, it helped me. I'm using my own training, which that's not uncommon for me to do. Like, if I'm going to create it, it's because I've done it. I'm already a practitioner of it. I'm integrity in that way when I create anything. But as I was delivering this, it's not like I was just regurgitating things I've learned or really regurgitating anything at all. Some of these things that came out, I was like, wow, I've never even thought of it that way before. Wow, I need to be better about that, right? It was like, I don't know. I really believe it was like my highest self was like, this is the way that you deliver this training. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But I got done and I could just feel it in my bones. This is it. This is an absolute banger. They can't all be bangers. I've created a lot of programs. I create a lot of podcasts. I create a lot of content. I put a lot of my quote unquote art into the world. They cannot, nor are they all bangers. Can't all be bangers. They're not all bangers. Don't need to tell y'all that. But this one, I fear, is a banger. So why the refunds? What's going on here? I've never done this before, by the way. I've never given refunds for my trainings. I've never been asked for a refund for my trainings. Little micro flex there. I just haven't. Also, that's part of my policy. If you buy something from me, this is why I put out sales pages, and I do my due diligence to make sure that you know what it is that you're getting into. If you buy something of mine and it's in your possession, I'm not refunding you on that, right? Like, it's yours. So that's just a company policy of mine. But again, I've never been asked for a refund and I've never had the thought to do it. And for one of my standard trainings, like a standard training where it's like, I'm going to teach you how to create low ticket offers. I'm going to teach you how to create XYZ funnel. I'm going to teach you how to do this very specific thing or how to create blank. That to me, that's how I earn a living. That's my business, right? I support women in monetizing their genius. And there's many things that's included under that umbrella. That's how I make a living. So again, this isn't something that I would normally do. Do I ever consider doing? It's never been a question. It's like I create free content here and on Instagram. I create in-depth trainings and you must buy them. That's how I'm able to do everything that I do. But again, when I got done, I just had this overwhelming feeling that this needs to be experienced by more people. 90 people, that's not going to cut it, right? Like I have a mighty audience and, all of my, my membership gets it too. And, all of my coaching clients, they get it. But it's not about the money for me on this one. Not even close. I believe in my bones that if women hear this, more women hear this, it will shift the planet. And that is a bold statement, and I stand by it. That is how deeply I believe in exponential. So I want to give it away. It is my gift. That's how proud I am of this. It is my gift to you. So here's what we're going to do. I first had the idea, I was like, well, let's just put it on the podcast. That makes sense, right? You can listen to it. The way that I do my trainings is where most of the time you don't need to see a video. You can just listen because I believe in being able to learn that way. We're busy. We have things going on. So that's why I'm a big fan of podcasting. And that's typically how I create trainings, is so you can just listen. Rarely is there a visual component. So anyway, I was like, let's put on the podcast, but it's not a podcast type thing. It's just not. I really tried hard to make it, but the way that it's delivered, it's obviously like this podcast is conversational. It's pretty casual. Exponential is the antithesis of that. It's a training. I mean, it's a whole thing. It is I don't know. It's different. But the most important piece of this, the most important piece and why I'm not putting on the podcast is because exponential includes a significant amount of reflection prompts and action steps. And the way that I design exponential is at the end of each of the 4 trainings, I map out those reflections for you and the action steps, because I mention them throughout the training. But unless you're sitting there with a piece of paper taking a ton of notes, you'll miss them. And these reflections are absolutely necessary to the transformation. You have to do them. Otherwise, I wouldn't include them. So all of that being said, what I've decided to do is I'm telling you about it here now. I'm explaining, because I feel like this concept of refunds and sometimes making these decisions is of interest to you, because there might be a time where you decide to do this too, and it might feel confusing because people did buy. So I'll go a little bit more into that in just a second. But here's the vibe. If you have not received your refund on Exponential, you will be getting it here soon. You'll see that reflected back. And then I have linked the link to watch Exponential for free here on this show. We might link it in the next few episodes just to make sure that it gets out. So you can watch that now, and it is all available for you. My only ask is that you watch it in its entirety in a timely manner so that you can get the benefit of this training, and you please do the work. please do the work. I promise you, I don't do busy work. I promise you, if it's there, if I took the time to put it in the notes, there is absolutely a reason why. So enjoy that. But let's circle back to the refund of it all and that decision, because again, it's a common question, right? Like when you don't offer refunds, and also a unique situation like this where nothing went wrong, where it's like, yeah, you should probably refund that thing. This is purely a shift in strategy. And when you do that and why you should do that. So I've already explained why I decided to do that. And again, I've never had this feeling before. I've never gotten done with something paid and decided I want to make this free. I believe deeply in an energetic exchange, right? Again, like this is my livelihood. By charging for these trainings, that's what allows me to do this podcast. That's what allows me to do any of the work that I do, is because of that energetic exchange. So not only does this keep me in business and continuing to put out my work, but there's a level of transformation that takes place in this exchange too. When you say, I not only want to learn this concept, but I believe in myself enough to where I'm going to pay. I haven't received the transformation yet, but I'm going to pay. That's a level of faith, right? Because if you did not believe something was possible for you, why would you give money in exchange for that? So there's actually a really powerful, palpable shift that happens when you say, I believe in this enough. I have enough interest in this that I'm going to invest my hard, not only money, but time into this. Time is a big exchange as well. So this is why I have zero qualms, zero problem in number one, charging for what I create. But number two, the prices that I charge, pretty high ticket for a lot of my work. And that's why, because I've been on the other end of that. I've been the person who didn't think she had the money for something, but wanted it bad enough and believed in herself deeply enough to go figure it out and put myself in the room and fully transform because of it. That is a really powerful experience. And I never want to take that away from you or from anybody. But again, this is just such a unique situation. And the only thing I can say is I feel it in my soul that I don't know if I need to do this. I want to do this. I want to. If this means more people will be like, okay, you have my interest, I'm going to listen. And then this changes their life and turns on their head the things that they believed they were capable of, and thus what they decide to go out and pursue. Even just one person, that is all I want. That's why I made this training. So this move is in more alignment with my goal for the training in the first place. The reason why I made this training wasn't to make a couple of grand. It was a low ticket thing anyway. If this was a bigger thing where I was charging more and this was like, I need this money for my business, that would be different. But again, this was more like I charged low ticket so you would take it more serious, not for my benefit of, what I charged for it. It started at $44, went up to $88, and then it went up to, I think, $144, then $188. So that's nice. That's a nice little, cash in my bank. But that's not why I made it. This is why I made the decision. Let's refund the money. I would much rather give you back that in exchange for more people watching it. So I share that because, again, there might be a time where you feel the same, but after you charge, you're like, what do I do about that? All these people just bought this thing. Now I want to give it for free. I do think there could be an argument made for not giving a refund at all. I could say, hey, you got to watch this before anybody else, and now it's for free. I think an argument can be made for that if it's low ticket, but some people would be upset about it for sure. Like, no doubt in my mind, because money is money. $44 is any amount of money is significant. So anyway, I just, that didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to do that. I also think there could be an argument made where I could have said, hey, I'm going to give this for free. And if that doesn't feel good for you, you can ask for a refund. But I didn't like that because I don't want somebody to have to like put themselves on the spot for that and then feel guilty and have to go back and forth. I just felt like that took away from the whole experience. I wanted Exponential to be an experience. So now I just feel like it's even a better experience because not only did you get the transformation of paying to be there, you got that information, but now you get your money back. So it's like, it's a fun, I don't know. I just think it's more fun doing it this way. So that's why I'm deciding to do it. But I do think, let's say if this is your situation and you decide, okay, I'm actually going to put this masterclass that you charged for on a podcast. To me, there's a different experience between a training that you watch and a podcast. So if you were to decide to do that, I think you probably would have an argument for not having to refund a bunch of people if you did it that way. But it's just one of those things you're going to have to weigh the pros and cons of. I don't want to give anybody a bad taste in their mouth at all about Exponential, which is why I'm doing it this way. So I hope this is helpful. Like I said, I've never done this before. This is an act of faith for me, an act of belief for me, and it feels really good. So if you purchase Exponential, thank you for being that bold to pay to put yourself in that room. That says a lot about you. And if you missed when I promoted Exponential, or maybe you just weren't so sure about it, for whatever reason, it doesn't even matter. It's available for you now. All I ask is that you just watch it in its entirety and you do the work so that you can actually get the transformation. That is all that I ask. All right. So you can find that again in the show notes. You can expect your refunds here soon if you have not already received it. I love you, and I will see you here next week. Bye.